So tonight I want to talk about the eclipses, and we are officially in eclipse season. Our first eclipse comes Friday, March 14th, and that is a full moon eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees. So if you are amateur astrologers or if you're professional ones, I would suggest looking at your chart and finding out where the houses of Virgo and Pisces are, because those are the houses that are really going to be activated in these eclipses, and also Aries, because we have an Aries solar eclipse on the 29th of this month in March. But first, we have to get through the full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo, and I'm going to talk about that. So, this eclipse is all about releasing, number one, because it's a lunar eclipse, which means it's the moon, and it's also an eclipse where the South Node is. So it's all about our past, the things we bring into this lifetime. And the reason why I wanted to do this show today is because I've had a week where, not just in my own personal life, but in all of the people around me, everybody is going through some kind of a release or a moving on situation, or, whether it's through death or loss or just an epiphany that you've had where all of a sudden you really want to change your life. And so I said, I need to do the show about this tonight because it's in real time. So that Virgo Aries houses of the chart is where we're really going to have the most activity right now, because the first eclipse is in Virgo, and then we have another eclipse the end of the month in Aries. Eclipses always come like that. It's lunar and solar. So my first thing for you guys to guidance wise is journal. If you're not a big journal, use your phones, give yourself voicemail messages, things like that, because I think what you're going to find is that this time period is going to be extremely pivotal for you in 2025 and into 2026, because you're going to go through a metamorphosis and a transformation with these eclipses. I mean, seriously. This is all about embracing an ending to create space for a new beginning. Things are unfolding at a very accelerated rate because Pluto in Aquarius right now is accelerating the breaking up of anything that doesn't serve us or is expired or out of date. You're seeing that play out on the world stage as well. So Pisces is an energy which is the opposite of Virgo. So the sun is in Pisces right now. The moon is in Virgo. That's why we're going to have a full moon eclipse. And eclipses always happen when they're on the nodes, all right? So the moon is on the south node in this eclipse. So this is all about closing and allowing things and the transition to unfold. It's not about taking action. That will come later. But for right now, we really have to focus and maybe journal or give ourselves little voice prompts. You can use the affirmations I do on the show in order to put ourselves in a frame of mind where we're allowing the surrender, we're allowing the release of what has been and what no longer should be. And we're going into the circumstance of not really knowing what the new is, what the unfolding will be, but allowing it, surrendering it. In Virgo, this is about releasing control of perfectionism. It's about really releasing what needs to unfold naturally, not controlling it, not wanting to, manifest something in a way that puts us back in the past. This is about releasing self-criticism, releasing and going into self-acceptance. If you're going through a breakup or if someone just, passed on, sometimes we can have regrets and we can think, oh, I should have done something this way, or, oh, I should have said this or done this. No. This energy is not about that. This energy in Virgo is about releasing those criticisms, releasing that judgment in order to be in alignment with your own self-worth and your own self-acceptance. So the phrase or the prompt, one of the prompts you can use in this energy is, what are the adjustments that I'm making for my future? And it shouldn't be adjustments. I shouldn't say shouldn't. You can do whatever you want. But the higher use of this energy is to make these adjustments so that you are going forward, not making adjustments to get back something you lost. All right. So if there's a habit you're trying to get out of, or that you've grown out of, or a person that you're with that you kind of grown out of, but you're going to have that anxiety about the loss, right? So don't make the adjustments that you do, the changes that you make. Don't make them because you want to go back. Make them because you want to go forward. Okay. And Bobby, if we could put up all the comments, if there are any, from Facebook and YouTube on the screen, that would really. Oh, great. There they are. Love you. Love you. Love you. So hi, Sarah. Hey, Liz. Cheryl's on and Trisha's on. Hey, everybody. You can put in the comps. Thanks, Liz. You can put in the comps. Liz said she liked my haircut. You put in the comments how you're feeling in this energy. So release control of that perfectionism, because that's what this Virgo is about. And what this full moon eclipse in Virgo is going to do is it's going to set us up to release the things that make us hypercritical about our life, or make us feel judged or uncertain in our own ability. That's Virgo. And Virgo does that. It creates a loss in order to bring us into our own competency. Because whatever it is releasing is something that's in the way of you reaching your full potential and full competency. And in the loss, in the abduction of that thing, we find our truth and our strength. We have to go through the loss and the grief first, but we find our truth and our strength. And I'm going to read something to you in a little bit about that exactly. There's a pivotal point. It's shaping 2025. It's about our emotional development. We're just coming off of Mars retrograde in Cancer. And Mars retrograding in Cancer, it's direct now, headed for Leo, which is our inner light, our strength, the sun. But Mars, when it was retrograde, was giving us reflection on places where we had to have emotional maturity and giving us the strength that we need for this time. You know, the universe is very dynamic, and it sets us up for energy that's going to come in the future. So that Mars retrograde that we had for several months was setting us up and giving us the emotional maturity by making us introspective about our actions and our relationships and things like that. So now we got to use those signals and prompts where we're being told to let go, the things that we're being told to release. Our intuition is telling us these things. That emotional development maturity that we had when Mars was retrograde is what's going to help us carry this into the future and release it. And if that makes sense, if that doesn't make total sense now, it will make more sense as we go through this month. Because as I said, Pluto is accelerating it all in Aquarius. And because what it is accelerating is our freedom. It's accelerating the breaking up. Aquarius breaks up energy. Pisces dissolves it. So this is about the universe coming in and saying, hey, this thing no longer is good for you. It's prohibiting your growth. It's prohibiting what your soul really came here to do. And it's going to remove it. And for those of us who can't release something, those of us who can't allow the unfolding, and I'm including myself in that. Sometimes, you know, things I release have claw marks on them. But for those who can't do that, you're going to have a tremendous amount of anxiety. And you're going to have insecurity. And what will probably happen is the universe will force its release if it's in the way of you reaching your full potential. That's just how the universe works. Not to create havoc and not to create pain in our life, but to bring us through the pain into the dark, all right? Think about when the sun sets, right? We have that momentary pang. You ever sit by the ocean or the beach in the summertime and you're watching a beautiful sunset and the orange comes and the reds and the purples and the violets and all these gorgeous colors, and it's so beautiful, and you have those moments where you just don't want the day to end. You don't want the light to end. It's so unbelievably beautiful. And you can almost sometimes on a really hot summer day, almost like I always pretend I can hear the sun going down, like it's sizzling or something, right? And it's just a beautiful thing. But if that didn't happen and the sky didn't grow dark, we'd never see the stars. And that's like this time. Those are eclipses, light and dark, right? The earth is between the sun and the moon in this lunar eclipse. So the sun causes a shadow to go over the moon. And so that's what will happen. And we might be able to see it where we are if it's not too cloudy. So the sun is also conjuncting Saturn in Pisces in this eclipse. All right, the sun is in Pisces, moon is in Virgo. That's why it's a Virgo eclipse, Virgo moon. But when the sun conjuncts Pisces, it doesn't just illuminate, when the sun conjuncts Saturn, I'm sorry, I misspoke, it doesn't just illuminate that. The sun can burn Saturn out. So this is the death of a big cycle. It's the death of the Saturn limitations that we've been feeling these last 18 months or so. And what will happen now is Saturn becomes more reasonable as it heads towards Aries. It starts to set up the structures that we need in order to form what is coming in new during this release period. So Saturn comes in and says, I'm going to limit you and restrict you, and I am the authority, and you can't stay in the past. I'm not going to allow you to be stuck. And we get nervous and we have anxiety and we're like, oh, but I don't know where I'm going and this is really scary and I've never been in that place before. But Saturn says, yeah, you might have some limitations right now, but if you stay here, you'll be flooded over and drown because it's in Pisces. So Pisces is that water that floods in and creates the dissolving, the dissolution of those things that are in our way to great potential. So that's the energy. Is it sad and is it loss? Sometimes yes, but it's about moving on through those shadows. And Mars direct, of course, we talked about, that's giving us the emotional growth. So we've got Pluto accelerating it all, breaking us up things in our life, and it's doing this for freedom. It's doing this to give us liberation and to give us individuation. Hey, Marianne, how are you? I haven't seen you on in a while. I'm glad you're here. So Pluto and Saturn and Mars are all tied into this eclipse. Both of them, the one on the 14th and the one on the 29th. The solar eclipse that happens on the 29th, that's going to show us more of the emergence of the new because it's in Aries, which is a sign of rebirth and new. But the actions and the real solidification, the real structure of these changes don't really come on board until September when we have another series of eclipses. But this is all about, defining a new space forward, with Mars using that emotional growth and maturity that we've been really getting an inkling of the last few months. But also, because it's Mars and because it's Pluto and because it's Saturn and it's in certain planets, Sun and Moon, Sun and Saturn are in Pisces, and it's dissolving things and it's watery and we're not really sure where we're going yet, and Virgo comes in and gives us a little self-doubt, it can make us anxious. And it can make us feel the separation in a very amplified way. But that's because there's wisdom there. That's because if we can be brave enough to really sit in the transition and sit in the loss and the grief, the stars come out and show us a lot of stuff, So stay out of fear. This is a lot of outer planet transits, and outer planets mean it's happening for everyone in the collective. It will take on a personal meaning in your life depending on where in your chart this is happening specifically for you. And I can do that for you in a reading. You just go on zencuda.com and you can book that. But for the whole globe, for everyone in the collective, we're feeling this energy of dissolution, of upcoming emergence. But we're in the flooding right now. We're in the overwhelm. We want to take action, but we don't really know what to do, and then we regret it a little bit. A perfect example was on the floor of Congress in the United States here, when we had a congressman who spoke out very defiantly during the president's speech. And I'm not being political. You can think whatever you want about that. I have no thoughts about it. But I always watch it against the backdrop and the framework of the astrology. And so here you have someone who emerged in a new way. We don't really see that. It reminded me so much of the Continental Congress. And of course, we're in our Pluto return, the same exact place Pluto was when our country was formed 250 years ago, so it's pretty cool. But I'm watching this unfold, and so this senator comes in, and he's, very forceful, and he's shaking his cane and all these things. And then 24 hours goes by, and they go to censure him for doing that, and all of a sudden a group comes around him in a big circle and overflows with, support, and starts to sing, "We shall overcome." That's Pisces. It was Aries when he did it, and Pisces when they all did that. You can watch it literally in real time, the energy on the world just play out. We're going to see a lot more of that. This is going to bring in an energy that can be very chaotic. It's going to bring in an energy where certain people don't want to let go of what's dissolving. And we all know what happens then. We've seen the Titanic. You don't want to go down with the ship. And so stay out of fear. These are slow-moving planets. The planets are coming out of retrogrades, and others are going into retrograde, so they're not quite moving as rapidly as they normally do. So this is a holding pattern. We're going to be in this energy for a while. So find your path forward. Stay in quiet. Stay in meditation. Get in that place where you are preparing yourself for the new energy, because this is pivotal moments of 2025 and into 2026. I'll see you back in the soul space next Monday at 7 o'clock, and you can find me on zencuda.com on the web if you want to book a reading, Zencuda on YouTube, and of course, Zencuda Soul Space on Facebook and Zencuda Official on Instagram. Bye, guys. See you next show. Hi, everybody. It's Georgia Rose from Zencuda, and here is our beautiful new website, zencuda.com. So I want to show you a little bit and give you a tour of this beautiful site that we have. And everything is all in one place now, and you can do everything Zencuda right on our website. So when you log into the homepage, there's a little space here where you can go right to Zenkuda Astrology, online classes, or book a reading or coaching session with me. Not only do I offer astrology readings and coaching sessions, but I also do tarot work and all kinds of things to help you get in touch with your own soul space and living Zenkuda. There's also a place here where I describe my journey and what it was like for me to actually found the Zenkuda community and be able to bring you all of the healing techniques that we do and the philosophies of evolutionary astrology, spiritual wisdom, and yoga. And you can read about what my journey was like. And in addition to that, if you go on to book a reading, you can actually book a reading for any session that you really would like to have. For instance, a 1-hour astrology chart reading, a tarot card reading. I also do synastry chart readings for couples. And I can also do a long distance healing meditation and Reiki session. And you can even purchase our Circle of Light Oracle cards, which were created by myself in order to put healing and light into your day. If you go back up, there's also a space where we're going to be putting our online classes. Those will be very, very soon. If you'd like to be informed about those online classes, about astrology and spirituality, yoga, all sorts of things, you can join our wait list and just give us your email and we'll be sure to let you know exactly when classes will be starting. And this button here brings you right to the Soul Space podcast. You can now watch the Soul Space live or past Soul Space podcast right on our Zenkuda.com page. You can listen to them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube and enjoy every minute and never miss a show. So I hope you'll look at this beautiful website. I'm also writing blogs about my journey, and we're in the process of importing all the older blogs that I've written in the last 5 to 10 years right on our Rose blog page, which is my beautiful blog. And you can, anytime you want, just come in and read all about my own journey to finding Zenkuda. If you want to work with me in a small or large group, or book me for reading, or doing a gallery style reading, or a public speaking event, or even a retreat, you can do that on our Work with Georgia page. And hopefully we can help you create your future with some coaching or some astrology workshops. So that is our beautiful Zenkuda.com site. I hope you'll be on there. We're also developing a space for community on there where you can learn more about astrology and spirituality and all kinds of things, and we can support each other on our beautiful, beautiful journey to finding our own soul space and living Zenkuda.